Alright guys, what is up today? I'm coming at you with another video from the car. You know, I said I wouldn't do it, but I'm gonna do it. Here I am. So I wanted to talk today, while I drive home from work, about Wim Hof and cold exposure and breath work, and kind of the good and bad of Wim Hof, to put it simply. I don't know if you've heard stuff about him, but first off, cold exposure relates to what I was talking about last video, how your breathing is the entryway into mindfulness. Your breath is the entryway into creativity, right? Because, how I was saying, your diaphragm is the only muscle in your body that's both smooth and striated, which means it can go on autopilot or you can control it. And controlling your diaphragm reminds you that you're in control of your entire body. It's like a neurological switch that gets flipped, right? Now, I was talking about resisting reactivity. So the breath as a grounding agent to resist this reactive mode in your body, this snowball of effects that gets you, fearful or anxious. And that can be done with the breath. But the cold exposure comes in because what makes your breath more reactive, more shallow, more choppy than when you're shivering, right? When you're shivering cold, you have freezing water on you. If in that moment, when you're experiencing such stimuli that would normally make you reactive, if in that moment you can still be grounded, you can still control your breath. Not even just have a nice, deep, low, full breath, but have a steady, smooth breath. Because, when you're in cold water, you want to... No. If you can take that cold water and just force it to be just a sensation. You're not assigning good to it. You're not assigning bad to it. It's just a sensation, and you're still in control of your breath. I think cold exposure is phenomenal for this, because if you can control your breath in cold water, you can control your breath better when you're angry, better when you're afraid, better when you're any other stimuli that would make you reactive. So cold is kind of like a way to conquer, I don't want to say conquer your emotions. It's not that easy. Like, you have to do intent, you have to try, you have to work for it. But it's not like, I find it rare that like the intensity of like anger that I feel is ever on the same level as the intensity of cold exposure. It's just different. And if you can control yourself there, I'd like to think you can control yourself anywhere. It really is very powerful. So we've established, if you can control your breath in cold exposure, that's like, you can bring that state of mind to any situation in life, right? The problem is with Wim Hof, like, he's talking about, cold exposure breath work, that's a great thing. But apparently he's like recommending that people do this breath work in cold water, like a body of water, not just a shower, and then hold their breath for as long as they can under the cold water. Now that, I think, is a bad idea, and I will explain why. Because your brain doesn't know when you're running out of oxygen. A lot of people don't know this. Your brain only can sense when carbon dioxide is building up. Because what happens is carbon dioxide buildup makes for more acidity in the blood, and you can detect the pH change, whatever. So if you're forcefully, steadily breathing for a long time, and you reduce the buildup of carbon dioxide in your blood lower than what the normal baseline is, then you can hold your breath and you have some time before that carbon dioxide gets back to what your brain registers as, oh, I have to breathe again. Now, while that's happening, you could actually be losing oxygen and not know it. You can just simply not know that you're losing oxygen because you're not experiencing a buildup of carbon dioxide. That's really dangerous to do in a body of water, like submerged in a lake, in a river. And I think maybe Wim Hof does this for like the shock factor, like maybe for views, or I don't know why he recommends this. Maybe it's just fun. It's had a great impact on his life, and so he wants to share that with other people. But I've also heard that, you know, he's kind of like a sort of guru, or at least he puts himself forth as such. And he kind of wants to be seen as this authority figure. And, you know, it almost turns into like a sort of cult when he's surrounding himself with these people and asking them to like give up their possessions. And I don't know how far it's got. I don't know if he actually does all that. But I just want to say, don't be turned off from cold exposure and breath work just because you've heard bad things about Wim Hof, whether it be like domestic violence, you know, I've heard rumors of that, or just the sheer fact that he used to advocate for holding your breath submerged in water, which I think is a bad idea. Don't let his bad ideas turn you away from breath work and cold exposure, which I think can change your life, can absolutely change your life. You control your anger, you can control your fear, anxiety, and it kind of makes you feel motivated again. I don't want to say it's going to cure your depression, but like, it might cure your depression. That's all I'm going to say. If you haven't tried it yet, why not, right? If you have a shower in wherever you live, apartment, house, why have you not tried this? There's no good reason. It's difficult at first. I mean, you know, the first few days or first few weeks, but also it's difficult within one session in the beginning. So the first 30 seconds are going to be the most difficult in any one session. But you get through that, and eventually the water, it feels normal. You're not even fighting to control your breath anymore. It just feels normal. And that's what you want to get to. If you can get to that place, I really think the hormonal response you'll get after leaving the cold water, like, could literally cure your depression, and you wouldn't know it until you try. So why not try? Yeah, I'm gonna cut this rant off now because I feel like that's all I got as far as like a cohesive rant for you right now. If I get some other ideas that I think I can present in a meaningful, concise way, I will do so. If you made it this far, thanks as always. I'm telling you, jump in some cold water, guys. See you later.